Hey everybody, welcome to today's stream. We're going to be playing some MSF today. The plan for today is we're going to hit our Ultima 7 nodes. We're going to hit Alpha 4, hit Dark Dimension 3, and then we're going to switch over to the new baby account that I started just a couple days ago actually. So without further ado, why don't we just check off this milestone and get rolling. We gotta hit our get our war attack in also. We are quite a bit behind. I don't know that we're going to be able to close that gap or not. What are they, like 315? Why don't we throw X-Men at them? Yeah, I don't know how we fell so far behind in the war. We did just get promoted to Gold 3, though, so that was pretty exciting. We're going to go ahead and cleanse teammates there. Cyclops' damage is absolutely absurd. I know I say it every stream, but it remains true. Alright, let's jump right into Ultima 7. Or you know what? Would you guys rather see... we could do Alpha 4 first, build into Ultimus 7. We'll go in order of excitement. Start with Alpha, move to Ultimus, and then do Dark Dimension 3 before we jump to the baby account. Do I want to go Cosmic or do I want to go Global? Usually I do the Global side. I think I'll do Cosmic this time around. And I will use Asgardians. Speaking of Asgardians, super excited. I'm going to be unlocking Black Bolt during this event. Got my 5 Asgardians at 5 stars or better. And getting Black Bolt is going to be a pretty major coup for me long term. Once I get him up to snuff. Alright, that was the first node done. So for the second node, I typically will focus Nick Fury first, followed by Loki, and then go from there. Alright, with Nick Fury down, we'll jump to Loki. Both of the Lokis. Good rebound chain. And let's go ahead and wipe most of the players on the field out. I honestly love the Asgardians mechanic that they all have their own sustain and they self-heal for a percentage of their health every turn. It's awesome. Not having to rely on a dedicated support to heal is fantastic. Hey, Shara, how you doing? You made your sweet potato fries too spicy? Oh no! I'm doing pretty well. A little tired. It's a late night last night, but doing okay. Let's take out Star-Lord next. Yeah, I stay up too late fairly often. That is a chronic problem of mine. And every time I do it, my wife asks, "Why did you stay up so late?" And my response is always, "Because I make bad choices." I think self-actualization is very important. I'm actually unreasonably excited to be streaming the baby account today. I don't know if it's just because, like, playing for so long. I mean, look, I'm very happy to be doing endgame material and Dark Dimension 3 and all that great stuff, Ultimate 7, but, like, I don't know, to a certain degree it gets a little monotonous and a little grindy at the top levels, and, like, being low level again, like, everything is a challenge. And I actually really like that. I like that I'm challenging myself again, like, alright, all I have is, like, Luke Cage, Punisher, Spider-Man, like, how do I make this team work? What do I do? So that, I mean, I've only been playing with the new baby account for a couple days, but I'm really enjoying it. It puts things in perspective. And it's also great because it sort of highlights how far the game has come and how much attention the developers have paid to the players. Because, like, some of the calendar stuff, like, I'm already getting Thor shards, I'm getting Loki shards, like, that makes such a huge difference for starting accounts, and, like, just how much quicker I feel like I'm unlocking characters compared to when I started back in 2018, like, it's great. It's really good. Let's get rid of Speed Demon first if we can. They really have improved the game overall. But so here's one of the big things about, they actually do listen to the players, I agree. Here's specifically, like, part of what I'm talking about, because Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I'm not going to dump on that game because it's a fun game, and I know a lot of cool people that play it and stream it, but that game is constantly adding new material, but a lot of it is gate capped at the top, and it's very unfriendly to free-to-play players. But in this game, yes, look, definitely, like, the new legendaries and stuff, 100%, those are all capped, and if you're not a whale, it's very hard to unlock them when they first come out. But then there's a lot of characters that, like, aren't farmable, you know, by reasonable means, like Minerva, for example, that they just gave away in a calendar event that there are people who've only been playing the game for a month that have Minerva. That's awesome. That's amazing. And, like, you don't get that in other games like Star Wars. So yeah, I have to say, it's been nice to see that. It sort of highlighted for me the fact that they haven't left newer players out in the cold, and that the new material they're releasing, they are trying to at least get it in the hands of newer players, even if you can't maximize their efficiency or their power early on. It's at least letting you deepen your roster and be an effective contributor to your alliances and stuff like that, and that's really cool. There's absolutely no shame in getting legendaries the second time around. I mean, I have gotten a little whalier as time has gone on, because when I started this game I was free to play, and then I've acknowledged that I've become a bit of a whale. But even with that, I don't go crazy, and I still don't get legendaries usually the first time around. I now reliably get them the second time around, where it used to take me maybe 3 tries to get them when I was free to play. But aside from the legendaries, I feel like a lot of the new characters that come out, I don't have to work that hard to at least unlock them. Yes, self-actualization is important. We just addressed that. Yeah, I feel like at least unlocking the characters for the most part is pretty attainable. And then they leave it to the whales to be able to max them out, you know, early on, compared to waiting longer. How's my volume today, guys? We're good here? There's a party going on next door. I'm trying to make sure I don't pick that up. Absolutely, Sherry, you do. You contribute a lot. Oh, Dr. Zeppers, how you going? Boom! We have Zeppers in the house, one of the MVPs of the PWW MGA that I am proud to be a part of. For those of you who don't know of the PWW MGA, here, let's get some emote love for the MGA here. I will go ahead and share their Discord information. Hang tight so I can pull that up. Actually, you know what? If you want to help me out, Zeps, I can go ahead and... You should be a mod. Not a mod yet. Alright, let me fix that. That is a travesty that needs to be addressed. Modded. So now you can go ahead and share that. You can go ahead and share that to the chat whenever you want to. Yeah, Shower throwing up the Dr. Zeppers emotes. I love it. I love it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and knock out this last Cosmic Node for Alpha 4, then we're going to jump into Ultima 7 and go from there. Again, if you have them, as Guardians are great to use for these nodes. They check off that Cosmic tag, and they're just a really strong team. Zeppers, how long have you been playing MSF? You only started recently, right? Live vicariously? Sure. Absolutely. Star-Lord out first because he is just a battery for ability energy. You do not want to let him do that. Oh, hey, Rico. How you doing? You know what, Rico? I've got a... Hold on, let me put this on auto for a second. I have to mod you too. You guys should all be mods on my channel. That way you can... Oh, no, you already are. You are. Cool. Good, good, good. That way you guys can post the Discord info for MGA. God of Thunder. I've said this before, but I think that Thor's transformation from a crappy second-rate character to a top-tier character has been one of my favorite transformations in the game. He went from being absolutely worthless to a top-tier damage, blaster, damage dealer. It's awesome. Which makes sense, because he's this badass character in the comics, he's this badass character in the movies, and then when I started playing, I was so underwhelmed by him. And now he packs a punch. Now, on this team, he should be your primary target. Nice! Yeah, I know mine works for you guys. I always see you guys getting hosted on the channel. Hold on, I think you can hear the dogs in the background. Okay, so I've been using this newly modified team where I even cut further down on my support and I took out Scientist Supreme and swapped her for Hela. So the idea behind this team is you've got Carnage throwing a ton of bleeds on people. You've got Symbiote Spider-Man throwing defense down and bleed and extending the duration of bleed. Then you've got Hela spreading those debuffs. Minerva obviously does the % health damage for enemies and has a heal that bypasses heal block, which is great. And then Ultron, just because Ultron is a general badass who does a lot of good things for the team. For this first node, as always, you want to focus on Pyro because of the bleeds he can stack on your team, followed by Mordo because he drops heal block and other nastiness, and Magneto is also bad. Now, even though Magneto technically is like the number 3 in your list of characters you should focus, sometimes I will jump off of Mordo to focus on Magneto if I'm confident that I can actually burn him down before he gets his blind off. Because if he gets the blind off, it basically invalidates my team for a turn, which just drags the fight out longer than it needs to. So if I think I can burn him before he gets his blind out, then that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and jump into the match here. And again, I'm liking this team comp a lot better. It clears nodes way faster. Yeah, you do lose a little bit of sustain, but for me, it's been totally worth it. It takes away some of the anxiety of not being able, timing out on the nodes. So Zeppers, you said you've been playing MSF for what, like 2 weeks-ish? Alright, we're gonna start with Pyro here, as I said. Drop some bleeds on him from Carnage. Yeah, absolutely, Zappers. Absolutely. Alright, so we've got the taunt there. We have no choice but to go after shield security. Pyro bled to death, which was perfection. Level 47, nice, nice. So, I don't know if you heard or not, Zeppers, but I actually just started a secondary, exclusively free-to-play account. I don't know if you're actively in an alliance that you're attached to, but if not, I'm starting an alliance with this free-to-play account to be sort of a feeder alliance to my main alliance. So if you'd like to join it, I would be happy to have you. Rico, I don't know if you have an account or if you're in an alliance, but you, of course, are welcome also. Alright. You're in Daniel's alliance? Nice. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and use Ultron's ult only because I've got the 3 buffs on him, so it's actually going to restore 3 energy for him. So it's not going to screw up too much with our cooldown management here. I'm actually not going to ult with Symbiote Spider-Man, though. Not for what's on the board. Alright, now the pyro's down. We're just going to be using basics to get through the rest of this just for the interest of cooldown management here. I absolutely loved. This is one, honestly, Symbiote Spider-Man's basic, in my opinion, is one of the best basics in the game. Because it's a basic that chains to multiple targets, and it drops defense down on every target. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. Yeah, absolutely. Zeps, not a problem, man. Figured I'd extend the invite. I know when you start playing it sticks you in a random alliance. I didn't know if you had already joined somewhere else or not. So for this one, you know, again, since when we're in it, sometimes it's hard to walk through everything, but we're going to focus on Carnage first because, again, the bleeds that he puts, and he also can do additional damage based on negative effects, which hurts a lot. He's going to be our top priority every time. After him, our next priority is going to be Venom. After Venom, I'm going to want to target Doctor Strange because he can revive people. That's my primary concern with him. Yes, he also flips buffs to debuffs, but I'm primarily concerned about the revive. And then Vision because of his buff clear. Yeah, absolutely. Always happy to answer any questions. I really like getting into the theory crafting behind why choices are being made. There's lots of guides you can find out there that just give you, like, here's the target order, target 1, 2, 3, 4, and people can go through the motions, but I think that it gives you a much better understanding of the game if you understand why certain targets are being prioritized. And there are streamers out there like Mobile Gamer, for example, who are really good at actually talking out the theory crafting and why things matter. Yeah. Correct, Shara. I don't disagree. You reach a point eventually where, when you have a solid enough understanding of why certain choices are being made, you can start to make informed decisions as to whether you want to deviate from the accepted meta in an informed way. And yeah, I get it, Zeps. He's way ahead. He is definitely a frontline top power guy. But what I do like most, I think, about Mobile Gamer is that he does really in-depth reviews of like why he thinks certain characters are worth investing in, and you know which abilities are the most worth investing in, and things like that. That's a good amount of bleed, but we are going to follow up with our basic here to throw that defense down. Alright, perfect. Look at how much bleed damage that just did, and because Symbiote Spider-Man extended the bleed duration, he's definitely going to bleed out next turn. You've done what, just as well in U7 following a guide and just going by what you know of the game. Absolutely. Plus, it's important to be mindful of power levels and how much they matter, because you can also bend the meta a lot more if you're coming from a position of punching down as opposed to if you're trying to punch up. You're going to be a little more bound by the meta if you're trying to punch up. Alright, so right now, we have no choice but to focus on Juggernaut because of the taunt, but the one I really want to take out at the moment is Doctor Strange. We're going to go ahead and drop our buffs and the heal. We don't need to resurrect anyone, so I'm going to avoid using Minerva's special at the moment. We're just going to go with the basic. Health redistribution, but that's fine. Alright, we definitely want to use our ult here, which is going to slow everybody. We are hurting a little bit on time here. We have enough buffs that we can ult with Ultron. We extended the slow duration with Symbiote Spider-Man. Juggernaut is such a strong tank. I know, time is... We're probably going to time out on the first run, but we're not going to lose anyone, which is more important, because then we're not going to have to spend any of the energy to hit it again. There, I really wanted to take him out. He was a problem. So technically Venom is a higher priority, but I want to make sure that Strange is gone before we hit this node a second time. There we go. Alright, that was important. That was important for us to do. Alright, we're definitely going to ult with Minerva, because that's a lot of damage we can put on people. Not going to worry about extending debuffs because we're going to time out on this run, which we know. And even though I want Carnage out, instead I'm going to hit Sabretooth because I knew that was going to take him out. And we're going to lose these debuffs for the second run. Yeah, Zeps, absolutely. If you want, I can do a roster review for you in-game, in stream here. I definitely want to get through Ult 7, these Ult 7 nodes, and then my DD3 attempt. And then as I'm switching over to the baby account, we can do a roster review for you. So Zeppers, if you're on your phone, what I would recommend, if you go into settings and then you go to advanced settings, you can enable portrait mode. That when you're going through your roster, you can turn the phone and get it portrait style, and then just take screenshots from your phone, send it to me over Discord, and I'll put it together on an Excel page to go through it. That's usually what I like to do. It doesn't like portrait mode. Forces landscape, yeah. Boop, let's get those bleeds on Carnage. Alright, so I'm going to basic the remainder of this node just because it's only the 4 of them. Alright, not a problem. Oh, dodged, you jerk. Yeah, if you're going to be on BlueStacks, I don't think you can do it, Zeppers. I think that's only something you can do on your phone. I wouldn't worry about it, though. If it's going to take multiple screenshots, it takes multiple screenshots. That's fine. And like I said, you can just send them to me over, send me a private message in Discord and you can send it to me. Alright, we got 2 more nodes to do. What I'm actually going to do... I want to save Phoenix for this node, but I'm probably going to want to switch up the team comp a little bit here. I think I'm actually going to take Ultron out of this comp. We're going to throw Hela in the middle here. And then we're actually going to go in with Scientist Supreme. My thinking being, while Ultron's minions are great, it definitely slows down my clear. And I really want to be able to dump a lot of debuffs on the opposing team and flip my debuffs for this node because of the Carnages and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. That's one way to get around Carnage and or Venom, is to run Scientist Supreme and hold off on her special until they hit you with their debuffs, but then before Carnage can use his special that does the extra 100% damage per negative effect, you flip the negative effects to positive effects with Scientist Supreme. So that's going to be my strategy here. And then we'll spread these. Bam. Spread that bleed. Okay. Gonna spread some additional bleed and debuffs. Look at all that damage. I love it. He's gonna bleed out. Ooh, that was unfortunate. Oh, but Scientist Supreme brings her back. I love it. That is one of the reasons she's on the team. Brings her back immediately, no less. Nice. Alright, she's down. Next up, I'm actually going to try to focus on Punisher just because he hits pretty hard. I am going to use her special now, even though I don't need to revive anyone, just because I want to increase her odds of survival here. Captain Marvel is such a good character. She really is. Alright, let's throw some damage Carnage's way. We've got Minerva hanging on by a thread in the back line here. The one thing that does hurt about this comp is that we don't have a protector. Ooh, I thought he was going to do that to Minerva. I was like, no! No! He will probably bleed out. Yep, awesome. Nice. We gonna have Carnage's special available? I don't know if we will. Would be nice if we did, because he will definitely take out Luke Cage then. No. Let's switch over to Venom here. Big heals from Iron Fist. I am gonna throw this heal out and throw some debuffs onto the enemy team. Oh, that's... Oh, but of course now he's got only buffs when I have the special available. Of course. Come on, guys. 1 minute to go. Let's make something happen here. I'm actually going to switch to auto just to try to get through this faster. Nice. Venom's out. Iron Fist is out. It's going to be kind of tight, but we can do it. We brought Carnage back. That's what I wanted to do to avoid having to spend any resources. Come on, move faster. Come on! Oh, come on! Ah! 0 seconds left! Oh, I can't believe that just worked. Oh, man. I love when things work out. That makes me happy. And we walked away with everybody. Look at that. Look at that luck. Alright, we're going to bring back Ultron now. Where's our boy? Yeah, boy. Ultron. But I'm actually going to throw in Venom. Right, what's his power at? 58. Yeah, I'm going to throw in Venom. Really maximize that symbiote synergy here. So for those of you who do not have the symbiotes yet, Venom brings two major things to the table for the team. One, he has an ability that drops 3 bleeds on a target, which is great. And then 2, he gets an ability that actually spreads debuffs to adjacent characters. So you've got the 3 symbiotes all dropping debuffs, you've got them spreading the debuffs around, you've got Carnage who does increased damage based on the debuffs. It's a really powerful comp, and the only comps that really stand up well against it are comps that can flip debuffs to buffs, such as AIM, or teams with exceedingly high resistance that prevent you from putting the buffs on in the first place, and the debuffs on rather in the first place, and therefore strongly inhibit the damage of the team because it is so reliant on those bleeds and Carnage's extra damage. Yes. Bleed. We can extend that bleed. So now he's bleeding for 3 turns. We'll actually drop a 4th bleed from Minerva. And he's got no one adjacent to him, so we're just gonna hit with Venom here. Alright. We'll get buffs from the minions here, and then we will ult Winter Soldier. Alright, we're gonna hit Venom next. Big bleeds. He will now bleed out. We will turn and focus on Vision. Nice. Again, we have to deal with Drax's taunt. Extend those bleeds on Drax. And spread them. There we go. Alright, since there's only 4 left and we've got plenty of time to spare, we're just going to rely on basic attacks to get us through the rest of this fight. He's gonna bleed. He's gonna bleed. And then we just have to worry about Spidey, who now should bleed out, and the Reaper over here. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Alright, so that is the last Ultimate 7 node we can do for now. We'll jump into Dark Dimension 3 next. Zeppers, I got your screenshots, so once we move over to the baby account, first thing we'll do is we're going to take a look at your roster here. Dun, 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 dun. We're getting clobbered, Chara. Clobbered. It's okay. We'll be fine. I am happy we just got to gold 3. It'll also make the loss feel less lossy because we're still going to get bang up rewards. Okay, let's see what we're in for here. This may be ugly. So this is my current comp I'm running through DD3 with. I have Carnage coming up through the ranks. I'm working on... Did I get him to 13 yet? No, thank you. He is 13. We're working on getting him to 14, but we got a ways to go. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Yes, our last war was super awesome. That is a fact. So yeah, Carnage isn't going to be there anytime soon, but I really don't quote-unquote need him until we get all the way down here for the city nodes. But for now, we're making do with what we have. Phoenix is definitely a highly recommended character for DD3, so is Minerva, so is Symbiote Spider-Man. Cyclops is okay because he's paired with Phoenix here. He'll do alright for me on the global nodes especially. And then I've got these 3 clowns from Defenders for reasons I've mentioned many times. Carnage will be replacing Iron Fist when he's high enough. And that's where we're at. I've also got Ghost Rider coming up through the ranks too, but he's going to be a while. And I'm going to be investing pretty heavily in Black Bolt when I unlock him in the next few days. Super exciting! It is, I believe, Cosmic, then Global, then City. I do believe that is the case. I can double check. I know City's last. I think Cosmic is the second one, which right now the only one I have that actually checks that off is Minerva. Which means it will be slow going, but honestly, it's not going to be a huge slowdown because she's one of the primary damage drivers for the team anyway. Oh, you're getting him at 6 stars? That's awesome. I'm getting him at 5. Alright, how do I want to do this? We're not going to 1. We're going to 2 times that. Technically, I should be focused on Miss Marvel, but I'm going to go ahead and, because she's so low, I'm going to focus. There we go, America Chavez. It's worth it for me. We're going to stealth our teammates here, ensure that Phoenix eats that. Okay, we can focus on Miss Marvel because she got a taunt out. Yeah, Paleo Pride, I like it. We lost Phoenix. He's gonna heal from that debuff, but there's not a lot I can do about it. We're gonna just hit Miss Marvel again. The one-shots are absurd. Absurd. Hang in there, Spidey. Yeah, I love the energy, guys. Keep it going. Alright, I don't want to do this. Oi. Yes! Oh, yes! That's what I was hoping for. Give me that optic blast, boy. Boom! And we took out Deadpool before it could heal. That was ideal. Ideal. Okay. I will take that. I was worried they were going to take him out before he even got a chance to act that turn, but we got the Optic Blast off with all those charges. How much damage did we do? That's actually not as high as I was hoping, but it's fine. It's fine, chipping away. Chipping away. We already knocked almost 8 mil off that that node. And we are 12.5% of the way through DD3. We are making progress. Again, the rewards that you get from this are wild. Wild. And then the second run, you get a 5 red star Ultimus among all this other great stuff. Wild. Ah, cool. Yeah, I see that you did that, Zeppers. That's awesome. So, Shara, yeah, Cyclops is rather squishy. However, that's part of why I've been this avid proponent of Beast, where other people are like, meh, Psylocke's better. I'm like, nah. Cyclops' damage is top shelf damage. Your primary concern should be, how do I keep Cyclops alive? That he stacks up his charges 2 at a time, and then Optic blasts and wipes the field. And the answer is Beast helps you do that. He's got a % health heal, which is, when you invest in him, is huge. And he will make sure Cyclops makes it to Optic Blast. So that's why I'm a big Beast proponent. Beast keeps Phoenix up, Beast keeps Cyclops up, and those are your 2 primary damage drivers. So that's my 2 cents on that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, for the first time on stream, is we're going to switch to the baby account. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But in addition, we'll close this out. Close BlueStacks. We are going to there we go, full screen that. Cool. But before we get into actually playing this, we're going to do a quick roster review for Zeppers. So let me pull up my little files here. So I'm just writing something down. Somebody called me. I'm just making a note to call them back. Cool. All right. Let's see here. All righty, Zeppers. Saving these images. Here is my insert image. There we go. Okay. Oh, I see. Those are reversed. Cool. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right. We're going to bring this over here. Do we have room in the alliance for 5 or 6 players? Absolutely. We do. I mean, I just formed it. It's right now. It's just me, which means we've got room for 23 players. We have plenty of room. Yeah, Zeps, if you guys are interested in joining the, yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to talk to Daniel to join that alliance. Because then you guys have the full support and backing of the main alliance as well. That's a lot of resources for everybody. But anyway, yeah, here we go. So let's look at your roster here. You were super lucky to get Minerva. Honestly, I'm kicking myself that I started this baby account after Minerva. It was stupid of me. I should have committed to it. And I said, I don't have time. I'll get to it. But it was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. So you're very lucky to have her. You actually don't need her at a huge amount of stars to have her be effective because her damage is driven by percent of enemy health. Obviously, the more you can put into any character, the better, but you don't need her at a very high star level to be effective. So you can just focus on gearing her up. She should definitely be a focused character like this. She's someone you definitely want to increase. She's usable early game. She's usable mid game. She's usable late game, including end game, Ultima 7 raids, the Greek 4 raids, and Dark Dimension. Because you don't have her at a high star rating, you won't be able to use her for Dark Dimension 1, because Dark Dimension 1 you need 6-star characters. But Dark Dimension 2 and 3 don't have a star requirement, it's just a gear requirement. So you need gear tier 13 for Dark Dimension 2, and you need gear tier 14 for Dark Dimension 3. So definitely focus on getting Minerva up. You will get probably the most mileage in the game out of that character. So definitely, Zeppers, I recommend Minerva be your one of your top focuses. Okay. I see you're focused on Spider-Man here. I wouldn't focus on Spider-Man. Once upon a time, he was really good. Power creep has not been kind to him. So he's usable on a Spider-Verse team. Spider-Verse is usable for unlocking Shuri, but aside from that, he doesn't get a lot of mileage. You've been focusing on Captain Marvel and Minerva? Yeah, Captain Marvel's another, what we call a god tier character. Captain Marvel is god tier. She's somebody worth focusing on also. And she's got a lot of flexibility as far as what teams you can use those two characters on, which is great. Next to those two characters, you've got Thor, who, as I've said, is one of my favorite transformations in the game because he went from being trash to being literally top tier. So Thor is somebody worth investing in. Loki is also someone worth investing in. The Asgardians team, you knew that Spidey only worked well so far. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Spidey's really useful early game. He has some use into the mid game, but into the late game, you don't really see him in many comps at all. He's not. You wish you could just focus on the characters you love. I mean, look, you can to some degree. You can focus on the characters you love to some degree. Spider-Man's still useful, for example, if you want to use him for the block party as a city hero character. So he has uses in the game. Oh, he was your hero as a boy. I know somebody like that too. It's his favorite character. I think there's a balance to be struck between investing in characters you love and investing in characters that are smart given the current meta. Spider-Man, the only team, so believe it or not, I don't recommend him for a primary Spider-Verse team because he doesn't synergize well with the symbiotes. He doesn't actually synergize well with the symbiotes, even though they were designed to be sort of the 5-character Spider-Verse team for the moment. Where Spider-Man is usable is actually on a brawler team. So if you put him with Miss Marvel on a brawler team, and he actually gets a little bit of mileage that way. So he's not unusable. And for that respect, I wouldn't say that you're wasting. Yes. Symbiote Spidey is super good. Symbiote Spidey is a god tier character. And with the other symbiotes especially, he's super, super strong. Is Spidey... Oh, just be the 5th character to fill in? Yeah, you could do that. Well, because he synergizes with Miss Marvel on that normal brawler team. Young Avengers sort of took the spot of that primary brawler team. It still exists and you can still run the comp, but Young Avengers has become sort of the stand-in for the brawlers team. So if you collect the Young Avengers character, Spidey does fit well on that team with his kit. But in the meantime, just looking at like most valuable characters worth investing in, Minerva, who you already are, Zeps. Captain Marvel, who you already are, it's good. Thor and Loki are both worth focusing on. 100% they are. Loki, you get sort of double bang for your buck because you need the Avengers for Black Bolt, but also Loki is one of the characters you need to unlock Phoenix, who is a god tier character. So, I definitely recommend both of them as well. And those are 2 strong cosmic characters that, until you get the full Asgardians, they synergize super well with Minerva also. Yeah, Loki's really strong. Loki's good. He's not the strongest on the Asgardians team. The strongest 2 are Thor, followed by Hela. Some people will tell you Hela followed by Thor. They're both really, really strong. It's sort of hard to pick one over the other. But yeah, no, definitely bring him up. Definitely bring him up. So you've got a lot of characters that you can use through your heroes campaign here, which is great. Your villains campaign, you've got Minerva. You've got Loki. Crossbones, I'm waiting to really see the full kit. I haven't looked at the full kit for Baron Zemo, but I know Baron Zemo is going to make Crossbones relevant again, which is nice. Let me see. Rhino, now that you have Rhino's worth investing in. Sinister Six is actually a great... Yes, you're in the Hela than Thor camp, Shara. I go back and forth. There are times I'm like, definitely Hela and not Thor, and then I get stunned by Thor, and I'm like, I should have friggin' taken out Thor. So I go back and forth, but I'm currently on a Thor kick. That Thor on the Asgardians team should be your primary target, followed by Hela. The one thing I will say is that Hela is much more flexible as far as using her on other teams as opposed to Thor. Thor is good on other teams, but not as good as he is on an Asgardians team. Hela's still amazing. So, Zeppers, Sinister Six were Spider-Man villains. They were like his main foes that he fought constantly. The Sinister Six team currently consists, it's really only 5 of them currently, though Doc Ock is now being added as the 6th. Yes, 100%. You should get Sinister Six. Here's why. Sinister Six count as Spider-Verse characters. They're also their own team. They're tagged the Sinister Six. There are 2 legendaries you can unlock with the Sinister Six team. That's one of the only instances that a team can be used to unlock 2 different legendaries. Shuri requires Spider-Verse characters, which you could use, for example, Spider-Man and Miles and the symbiotes to unlock her, or you can use Sinister Six to unlock her. Invisible Woman from the Fantastic Four, who's another legendary character, you need Sinister Six to unlock. So it makes sense to invest in Sinister Six because you can then use them to unlock both of those legendaries. In addition, early players, have a little bit of a hard time sometimes coming up with a solid villains team to make their way through the villains campaign. The Sinister Six characters are a team that is usable to get through the villains campaign that also do those other things. They do show all you have unlocked presently. Sinister Six is also a counter to Defenders, as Shara just said, and Defenders are probably the number one team you're going to be coming up against in Arena at the early levels. So, into the mid-game, honestly. So, Sinister Six is really worth investing in, and the great thing about Sinister Six is they're very farmable, where not all characters are, right? Rhino is farmable through... I don't remember if he's Blitz or Arena, but he's one or the other. Let me actually double check quick. Oh, it's currently locked for this account because it's not high enough yet. Bleh. But I can tell whatever he's not in, he's in the other one. So he's in Arena. Oh, no, here he is, Blitz. Yeah, he's unlockable in Blitz. So that is... coming up with Blitz credits should be fairly simple for you to do at this point. So he's somebody that's definitely worth farming. What do you spend and what do you hoard? That's a good question. Hoarding is more important for things that you don't get often, right? So with the exception of approximately twice a year we get like an orb opening event. So a month or two before you think that event's coming out, you should start hoarding your orbs and then open them all at once during the events that you hit the milestones, you get those extra awesome rewards. But generally you can open most of that stuff. In most cases, like, I know some people will wait, especially like whales and stuff who aren't worried about having orbs and stuff. They'll be like, yeah, I'll get stuff, whatever else. But they'll wait to be like, all right, I know this new character's coming out. I'm not going to open any premium orbs until this character, whatever. Fine. A lot of it, I would say just open it, with the exception of gear is a big thing that when you get to higher gear levels, it's worth hoarding certain materials. The purple power cores. So purple power cores you should use within reason. Purple power cores you can use to give yourself extra campaign energy to hit campaign nodes up here. You'll also get some free whatchamacallits, some free refreshes, but the next 3 refreshes after the free one cost 50 power cores each. That's good economy. So you definitely every day will generate enough power cores to do this. Every day you should spend the 50 power cores for refreshing your campaign energy. When it hits the 100, stop. That's no longer good economy. Yes. So I would stop. You hit your 350 and then that's it. Cut yourself off. And save the rest beyond that. When do you use those extras? That is sort of based on offers that come through. I'm always happy if you see an offer and you want to ask me and say, hey, is this worth spending on? And we can have a conversation about it. Usually I'll use them. No. It's a good comparison. Galaxy of Heroes is a good comparison. They're in the same genre. In fact, whenever I'm playing like a newer mobile game, I usually say, for those of you that know this game, this is the equivalency, because it's the easiest way, instead of launching into a 30-minute explanation of what a game mode is, to just be like, this compares to raids, or this compares to territory wars, or whatever. So like, if you look in the store, I never spend these power cores to pick up the shards. I don't do it. That's not a good use of power cores. Sometimes in offers you'll get decent power core deals. I won't say often, but sometimes you will. Where are we down here? And ignore these percent offs. They're usually bullshit. I wouldn't get caught up in that. But like, if I'm short on gold or something and I look at this and I go 260 power cores, like, okay. Like, this account's new. I'm not hurting on gold, so I'm not going to do it. But in some cases, I'll use power cores for stuff like that. But generally, the number one thing I use power cores for when I have excess is orbs. So, for example, if I'm like, I made it through the Beast Blitz and I'm just shy of unlocking him, I'll spend on this. Yes, where are we? The Legacy offer, this is good for starting players. I'm not going to get it on this account because this account I've committed to being free to play, but Shara is correct. This is a good offer. Honestly, if you've got money to spend, this is not a good offer because he's very farmable, right? This is not a great offer. This is a good offer primarily because of Yo-Yo, especially for new players, because Yo-Yo is not farmable. This is an expensive offer. This is one of the best offers I've seen in the game. This is a solid team, and this character is not farmable, and you get him at 4 stars. That's pretty amazing. And this new player bundle is whatever. I don't... It's not great, but it's not terrible. This cost economy, $3 for 45 shards, is a good offer. But, again, especially when characters are farmable, I go, I don't feel like spending money. You get Wolverine by completing all your dailies every day, but you get 1 shard a day. Yeah, if you don't want to spend money on the game, don't. This is a game, unlike Star Wars, like, I don't think Star Wars is viable free-to-play. Not if you ever want to get to endgame. It's just not. If you started Star Wars tomorrow, you can't do it. You just can't do it. It's going to take you years and years and years and years. Marvel Strike Force is a game that I've had people start playing a couple months ago that are free to play that are already participating. And are they doing multiple nodes and raids? No. Are they participating and putting damage on the board? They are. This game is free to play capable. Yeah, no, there is some good economy stuff for you to pick up. You've got to be careful about not getting drawn into bad deals, but you don't get that one. Yeah, you don't get Cyclops. No, absolutely. Look, again, self-actualization is important, right? Star Wars is a great franchise. Galaxy of Heroes does a lot of cool things. I like that they've got the 2 different modes. They've got like the normal game mode and they got the Starship stuff. That's all really cool. But let's call a duck a duck. It's a very cash grabby game, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and it's because they gatekeep so hard in the game of like, what do you mean you don't have 5 Jawas at 7 stars, even though you're never going to use them for anything other than unlocking this character? Too bad. What do you mean you don't have 5 Ewoks? It's like, come on, guys. I need to have 7-star everything to do anything. But that's what they do, and that's why they really drag people into whaling in that game. In this game, you can whale. They give you opportunities, and certainly you can streamline how quickly you get through the game, but you don't have to. This game is very viable free to play. Oh no, yeah, we do get cheap offers that are trash too. We definitely do. But there's enough information out there that there are people who know the economy that say, don't do this, or do this. Right, you could buy some of them and never enough to unlock. We can buy a whole squad unlocked in MSF. That is a huge... Again, I now feel comfortable making this commentary because I played Galaxy of Heroes for several months. I played DSA. I'm still playing DSA. But I played DSA for several months. and I've been playing MSF for 2 years, and looking at all of them, and it's made me more grateful to play MSF, because I used to be one of those guys. I mean, I think I'm pretty reasonable in general, but like, when Phoenix came out and they were like, oh, you have to unlock it at 6 stars, we were like, ah, and we were all complaining, whatever else. But now, having looked at these other games and what the cost economy is in these other games and how hard it is to be free to play in these other games, I have a newfound appreciation for MSF. So I do give FoxNext credit. I give the whole dev team credit and the people who need to make these decisions about what things should cost, because they have made it free to play viable. And so again, Zeps, here you have Mysterio already. He's Sinister Six. So you've already got 2 Sinister Six characters. 3, I'm sorry, you got Shocker too. Look at that. Yeah, you've already got most of the squad here. They're going to be great for your villains campaign. So you're missing Green Goblin, right? I don't see him up here. You're missing Green Goblin, and you're missing, who's the last one you're missing? $99 for 3 pieces of gear. Yeah, no thanks. The only $100 deal on Swago that has value is the Hyperdrive. Yep. Depends on what you want to do in the status of your account. I don't disagree. Yeah, who's the other? Let me take a look here. Vulture. Green Goblin and Vulture are the 2 that you're missing. For Sinister Six. And that gives you a full 5 team for Sinister Six. For those of you that haven't read the notes yet on Doc Ock, who is the 6th Sinister Six member, he's got a really cool mechanic. He's a legendary character. You need X-Force to unlock him, so Zeps, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get him anytime soon. But when you put Doc Ock on the team, whatever character you left off, because you can only have a 5-person team, he actually summons them into the game, so that you have the full 6 Sinister Six, which is a really cool mechanic that I love. But yeah, you've got 3 out of the 5 currently, and then, you're not going to have Doc Ock right away. But you can get Green Goblin, you can get Vulture. Vulture's in Arena. He's the Arena one. So you can get Rhino from Blitz. You get Vulture from Arena. Shocker. Where's Shocker from? Yeah, Vulture is the other one. Where are we here? I should have just searched for him. That would have been easier. Shocker. Find. Yeah, Cosmic 19. You farm him from campaign. Vulture's from Arena. Mysterio is from Raid. But you got him already, which is good. But he's from the Raid store. And then Green Goblin is campaign farmable also. So it's very farmable. It's great. That's a good position for you to be in. I definitely would prioritize filling out that team, putting some resources into them, and you can use them for your villains campaign and get farther through the villains campaign. Then obviously keep putting resources into Minerva and Captain Marvel. And then on the hero front, I would definitely put into Thor. Loki's not a hero, but he's worth investing in because of the Asgardians and because of legendary unlocks. And then for your other heroes, you can keep with Spider-Man for now. In the early game, you're going to get mileage about him. Captain America has uses. He has uses. He's not super strong. He's not a top-tier character. He doesn't get a lot of use into endgame, but he's usable. Early to mid-game, he's very usable. You're working on Rocket also, you said? Yes, Rocket. So, Guardians of the Galaxy are good. They're good. They're worth investing in. They're a very popular team to bring into Dark Dimension 1, getting them to 6 stars. Yes, you can use Spidey for Block Party too. So, Guardians are fine to invest in. I would just put a cap onto how far you invest in them. I tell most people you want to get Guardians to like gear tier 10 and not more than that. Not more than that. Get him at least to 6 stars so that you can take them through Dark Dimension 1, but keep them at about gear tier 10. It's not worth investing rarer materials into them. Luke Cage is a defender. The defenders are great early game Defenders are okay mid-game. Into the late game, they hurt a little bit. They have selective uses, like Block Party to get, when you max it out, T4 ability materials. Aside from that, the meta wasn't super kind to them. They've fallen down. I call them... Some people say they're low tier. I disagree. I think they're a low-end mid-tier team. So they're fine. They're a team you can put on War Defense and just let them chill there if you don't have a super deep roster. You can use them in raids. Like, certain raids especially have city requirements. Some of the Greek raids, so usable in that. There are uses for defenders. Again, what I would do is be wise and not dump too many high-end resources into them. Gear tier 14 is the current max Zeppers, but they're adding gear tier 15 before the end of the year, supposedly. So gear tier 15 will be the max. I think gear tier 10 for them is good. You can even go, if you love them, if you're like, I love this team, they're so much fun, you could take them up to gear tier 12. Gear tier 13 is when you start requiring what we call orange or T4 materials for gear upgrades. I would not put orange gear into Guardians. I wouldn't do it. None of them. Not even Star-Lord. I just wouldn't do it. There's better choices. Yeah, you can bring them to max level if you want to. That's not a problem. Your gold is required for leveling up, and right now gold is probably going to get tight for you for a while, but you'll get to a point where you're okay. Character level is 75. I don't know if they haven't mentioned plans to increase that, I don't think, but people are surmising that when they release Dark Dimension 4, there may be a level bump associated with that, maybe to level 80. But currently the max level is 75. The cap used to be 70, and then they bumped that up to 75. I would recommend you take them at least to 6 stars for Dark Dimension 1 if you want to do that. And if you're going to do that, get them at least to level 60. And use them to unlock Star-Lord. Star-Lord's usable beyond Guardians. He's a character that has multi-uses on multiple teams. So I definitely would recommend getting Star-Lord, and you use Guardians to do that. And then he fits on the Guardians team. So you've already got 5 Guardians here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I would do that with them. And if you want to focus on them, if you want to ease off Spider-Man and Luke Cage, you can work on making them your primary heroes team to get through the heroes campaign. And that would be perfectly fine. You'll be able to do that with them. And they'll be able to help you in the Cosmic campaign, so you'll get a little more bang for your buck out of them that way too. I think that's definitely worth doing. And you got them at some decent, for compared to your power level, you got them at decent power here. So, Rocket, Drax, Groot, Gamora, and Mantis. And then when you unlock Star-Lord, which you need at least the 5 Guardians at 5 stars, when you unlock Star-Lord, drop Gamora and put Star-Lord in that spot. I would not. I'd ease off Spidey for now. For now. You can eventually level him up, but I'd ease off Spidey for now. Yes, and you at least have some red stars on Drax, absolutely. The percent increase on the stats is important for Drax because he's primarily a health tank. So you really need him to have a decent amount of health, and red stars helps with that. Yeah, so I think you're in good shape. I would not focus on Hydra for now. I'd leave them down low until, unless you have Red Skull or unless you have eventually Baron Zemo, they're just not worth investing heavily in at this point. You don't have much in the way of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. And really, until you get either Coulson and or Nick Fury, again, a S.H.I.E.L.D. team is not going to be a super strong team. Yes, you can use them to unlock Iron Man, but you really don't have much in the way of a power armor team, so you don't need him yet either. Absolutely. Happy to help, man. Hand is duty, so I would avoid Hand. with the exception Hand Assassin and Nobu you will need for Phoenix when the time comes, but you're a ways away from that. I wouldn't stress about it. There's better things to invest in right now. Yeah, and I think that's where you're at right now. You got red stars for Squirrel Girl, but you don't have her yet. Yeah. You'll get her eventually. They'll add her to orbs or something, and you'll eventually just pull her. Alright, so now that we're here in the baby account, let's spend our campaign energy and then do some challenges, because that sounds fun to me. So with my baby account, again, I have a very limited roster at the moment. I've actually been focusing on Punisher, Luke Cage, and Miss Marvel as a city team / partial defenders team. Yeah, you cannot farm Cyclops, and he is of the X-Men team, he is the second strongest character on that team. He's super important to the team as a blaster, and he's just a really strong character in general. Yeah, he's amazing. I love him. I'm a little biased because I like the character also, but he's really strong. So yeah, Punisher, Luke Cage, Miss Marvel. Through the welcome package events, I'm gonna get Thor eventually, which is nice, and I will be focusing on him. I'm also starting to use what little Blitz credits I can get my grubby little paws on to get Rhino, because as I mentioned to you, Sinister Six being important to get through the villains campaign, I am trying to do the same with this baby account. And then we'll go from there. Some of it's going to just be based on what I end up getting and what I don't, but it is what it is. Alright, so for this one, you need squad level 9+. That's not a problem. How do I want to do this? Yes, I think I will use this team. And Zeps, going forward, one thing I always try to ask myself when deciding if I'm going to invest resources in a character or not is, how much mileage am I going to get out of this character? Meaning, are they only usable for one thing and one thing only? Or can I use them in multiple game modes, right? So like, Sinister Six is a good investment. Why is it a good investment? Because you can use them to unlock 2 legendary characters. You can use them for the villains campaign. And now they're an even better investment because they now have a legendary attached to them in the form of Doc Ock, which will make them a top tier team. So that's a good investment. It's a no-brainer. Is Hand a good investment or a bad investment? Well, previously they were only really usable for the Catalyst event. Now they're also usable, 2 of them are also usable towards Phoenix, Nobu and Hand Assassin, but that's their only purpose. They're not really good in any game modes, so the answer is I get Catalysts out of them, okay, fine. And these 2 characters are good for Phoenix if I've got a shot in hell of getting Phoenix, which means I also need the other characters that I need to get her. So typically a bad investment until you're at that point. So that's just stuff to sort of keep in your head as you're going. Alright, let's hit this next node too. Especially in the early game, Punisher is really strong. Recommended 18 plus we can do. Hey, Rook, how you doing, man? Love to see you, bud. How you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. Just hanging out with my peoples here, man. Having a good time playing on this new baby account. I was telling Shara, it's really nice that, you know, I feel like the MSF world is a challenge again at this level. That, you know, based on where my power level is and what we're doing as an alliance and stuff, sometimes it feels a little grindy at my level. But being on this baby account, it's like, oh, everything's hard again, and I like it. It's refreshing. Like, I can't just auto my way through 90% of the game now. I have to actually, like, oh, pay attention. What's going on? I gotta pick my moves carefully here. Alright, so we got through those. That was good. Training materials. We could do this one, too. We got a couple people lurking, I think. Yeah, dropping those emotes. I like it. When I was doing Dark Dimension 3 on my main account, Shara and Zephyrs were coming through with those hypey emotes to give me their energy. I'm actually going to go for the defense up. Rock, you were always a mod in my heart. I don't know when I actually pulled the trigger on it, but it just made sense. We're just going to basic. Oh, look at that! Zephyrs pulling out the fancy Twitch skills there. Stalker stats. Rook, you missed. I did a roster review for Zephyrs on stream. That was a good time. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna auto this for those training materials. Whatever, it's not worth it. Here we go. Boom. Just get that good material here. This one we gotta fight. Brawler, alright. Damn, we at least have a full team. That's not bad. No naughty words. Or as Chris Allen, the storyteller for our Sunday Werewolf the Forsaken game, would say, remember, folks, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. Oh, I love Chris to death. He's painfully British. Painfully British. He's a really nice guy, too. I love Chris. He's great. Boom. It's okay. We've got the mature filter on the stream. It's fine. Everything's fine. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously. Whenever you're fighting defenders, Iron Fist should be your primary target because he gives the sustain to the team. And also his ultimate, the Iron Fist, can delete a character. Even at like late game levels, as you guys saw in Dark Dimension 3 earlier, he can just delete a character. I love Sundays because we get all the challenges. All the challenges. Yeah, we can do this one too. Yep, that's fine. It's the best comp I got at the moment on this account. That will do. That'll do. Boom. Nice. Oh, did we just get people joining the Alliance? Whoa. No, that's got to be from the old Alliance, right? Did we just get all these people? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, whoa. Whoa. All these randos join the Alliance. That's amazing. We filled up really quick. Yeah, it is open publicly. There you go. Don't worry though, we would make room for our MGA peoples if you guys wanted to join. Hey, Dude Ash, how's it going, man? Having a good day, man. I'm actually playing my new baby MSF account right now. So that is the exciting stuff we're going through at the moment. I gotta figure that out later. Fine. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I will make room for you guys. You do not have to worry at all. But it's good to know that there's bodies in the Alliance. We'll see how active they are as we go. I do need to give a howdy ho, though. I did not realize that I had company here yet. They all joined since last night, because I just made it last night. So these all joined today. I am, however, going to make it closed moving forward, though, and then do invite only as we start to pair through people. Let's actually go ahead and do that. So let's hit this. Get the rest of those orb fragments, and then we'll jump into. Yeah, we'll just hit the catalyst here. Cool. All right, events. Can we do this yet? So what have you been up to, Dude Ash? Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do this one or not. We're gonna find out. I'm not going to taunt because I don't want to lose Crossbones. I'm going to need him to have a shot at this. Oh, we lost him anyway. Nice. How's that going? Nice. Nice. L's to the 6 stars. I like it. This is going to be tight. I don't know if we're going to be able to get through this or not. Alright, we will... Oh, heal block. That was a dumb move, Dan. That was a dumb move, bud. Yeah. We got to level up a little more before we do that node. But we're on the cusp. We're close to it. We do have some energy we need to spend, though. Let's check out our campaign notes here. We still can't do villains yet because we need that third villain's character before we do that. What levels is everyone here? Yeah, we can do this. Keep pushing through heroes. Alright, I have to try to keep everyone alive if I can, which is going to be tight but doable. So that I 3-star this and can farm the node. Hang in there. I don't act... Yep, I think I did it. That'll do it. Alright guys, it has been about 2 hours. I think I'm actually going to end the stream for today here, just because I've got to get ready for the tabletop role-playing game going on at 9 o'clock-ish, and I got to spend a little time with the baby before bedtime. So I'm going to wrap up here, but thank you everyone for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow morning we've got Chapter 5 of Very Angry Dogs, the Werewolf the Forsaken campaign, so definitely stop by and see what our werewolf pack is up to tomorrow. And then Monday I'm planning on streaming the Isle as long as I'm not completely bogged down at work, which I might be. I will keep you guys posted in the Discord channel about how we're doing with that. But otherwise, thanks for stopping by. Have a great night, and I will see some of you guys tomorrow.